Welcome to the Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello, and welcome back to the Casual Camping Podcast. I'm your host, Ade.
And I'm your other host, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm good. I've been out camping in cold weather.
You have been camping. Tell us all about it.
It was glorious. I got there early. My camping buddy Chris was coming a couple of hours later, and I should have got there a little bit later, but I was just a bit too excited. You know what it is? I packed the car. I was like, "Oh, what do I do with myself?" I was like, "Go sit in a field and burn stuff.
Yay.
Go early."
Of course, that's the right decision to do.
It's the correct decision to do. And it was really nice and peaceful. There's not many campsites that are open, but I have to say, their camping field, they only allowed people on the edge of it. So there was me and one other. But then there was some, converted vans. Some transporters and a couple of caravans, and wasn't alone by any means. There was mainly full. There was even like an old style caravan that still that had somebody in it, for the weekend. So yeah,
fab. No, you see, winter camping is a thing. It's brilliant. Where in the country had you gone? Was it close, or had you gone for?
It was about a 45-minute drive. I said where that come from Leamington, and he went, "Oh, quite far then." I was like, "It's 45 minutes. That's not far at all. I will go a lot further."
That's a sign that they're a bit backwards.
Yes,
people round here. It's like this is one town, and then literally the next, they call it another town, but it's literally the end of the next road. And they're like, "Oh no, you don't go there. That's the next town." It's like, what? Wait, what are you? What? It's like it's only one set of grandparents for the whole of this area.
Uh-oh, Tim's going to be in trouble. Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. Nobody's listening.
And because it was a really nice thing to do because we'd recorded the last week's podcast just before I went. So it kind of prompted me to just take fire pits with me. Hey,
perfect.
Something that I'd not used a lot this year was the BioLite one. And yeah, I just bloody love that one. I really, really do.
Yeah.
I'd not cleaned it since the last time I'd used it. So on the pictures
camper.
and the video.
You dirty little camper.
I've still not cleaned it. I packed it away, but it's got a load of stuff in it. So I do need to go and do that. So I'll make it look nice. I'll bed it down for winter, but it might get another showing soon.
Yeah, you never know. You put a really good little video on our socials of you turning up the bellows and properly got a roar going with the wood. It was a really good little video that really showed what a great piece of kit it is.
Yeah. And that power pack, like I say, if you've got it on full blast, it does something like 3.5 hours on full power for that, and you'd burn through so much wood. But I just kept on, get new stuff going on. You'd actually just turn it up a little bit. You'd get this because it's supposed to be smokeless. So once you put fresh wood on, put the power up a little bit, gets a good flame going, no smoke.
Fantastic.
How many times do we sit around a fire going, "Oh, it's following me"? It's like, well, it can't be following you. It's following me. It's in my eyes. And I didn't have that with that.
Yeah, that is a real bonus with that fire pit. The amount of times I've moved my chair, moved my chair, moved my chair, moved my chair, and the smoke is still following me round, and it's right in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, cracking, cracking. So
yeah.
do you feel all refreshed?
I really did. It was lovely just being out. And for me, I'm normally surrounded by lots of people because I'm a bit more popular than you are, Tim. Sorry, I thought I'd let that say it. I was like, oh, okay.
I ain't denying it. I ain't denying it.
So I was there by myself, other than the odd "I'll do" to anybody that walked past with a dog. But it was just nice to be out, and it was, to come back to your previous question. It was near Evesham and Cheltenham, so it was about a 5-10 minute drive to Cheltenham from there, and yeah, I'd say maybe Evesham in the middle of the country in the UK.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, and I don't normally like campsites that take caravans and motorhomes as well.
Mm,
The caravan club kind of thing are always a little bit snooty about tents and stuff. But when Chris came later on, he was saying, "Oh, we're just having a catch up. We won't make much noise." And she said, "Oh, he's down by the end of the field. He's got a cracking setup." And he was like, "She said you got a cracking setup," and I went, "Well, I bloody know it, but it's really nice to hear it."
Oh, that's always a
uh,
winner. That's always a winner. What did you do
it
for food?
We did burgers this time. So I did actually. I took hot dogs and had them for lunch, and then did some burgers a little bit later on. I
Cool.
also had a little pot noodle, cheeky pot noodle.
Cheeky pot noodle. You got to take a cheeky pot noodle camping. It's
Yeah,
great.
well, I always take it, but I don't always eat it. So, they follow you around a bit. But, considering if nuclear Armageddon actually happened, the only thing that would survive it are rats, cockroaches, and pot noodles.
I do
You
have some
know
in
it.
my I do have some in my long-term prepper storage actually.
Uh, but yeah, it was just lovely to get away. I love this time of year for camping. I really do. Just so long as it's not too wet, but I'd have put up with it either way. And just it's those cold, almost foggy autumn days. The trees have got wonderful colours in the
Mm,
leaves that are dropping. And it was cold enough to want to have a fire quite quickly. So, just all in all, that it just, you get to use your kit, you get to put things out. I had time to myself, so I could set the tent up how I wanted it. We were sharing a tent this time, so I didn't take all of the things that I could have done. It was just more simplicity, and I knew that when it got later, we'd be in the tent. So it was like, well, don't take all your really big stuff and don't fill the tent with
hmm.
stuff. Just have it better to have some move about space rather than anything else.
Cool, cool. Sounds great. I'm jealous as hell. I'm still not out in the
Mm,
field, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel for me, which is great.
yeah.
So hopefully it won't be too long before I can get my kit together and get out there as well, because that'd be fab. That'd be fab.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've
Mind you,
had
though, I am also I'm still very envious of your camping in the snow. And I think with winter coming on, I've heard today from my father that there might be some snow this weekend.
he's my father too, but you can keep him. It's
Hi, Dad. He ain't
he's not.
listening.
He ain't listening. It's no. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It's oh shit.
Back pedal,
Back
Tim.
pedal, quick, quick, reverse. Oh dear. I have to say it's cold enough. It feels like it's going to be cold enough. It gets really chilly on a night. So hopefully we might be in for a bit of a wintry, snowy winter because my mate Matt is desperate to go proper winter camp. He's never been winter camping before, and he's given me some weekends, end of January, beginning of Feb, that where hopefully I'll be able to get out in the field at that point and go and do a winter camp. So you're welcome to join us if snow looks likely to do a bit of snow camping.
Yeah, as I was saying before, I'm still envious of that time, you waking up and the snow about and stuff. I want to do that. I want to have that experience. So, and when it gets cold, I've done it before where we've gone up to higher ground, not necessarily camped in it. I've camped lower ground and then gone up into the snow, whereas I'd actually quite like to have. So, yeah, find those campsites that are a little bit high up that will get the snow even when other places are not getting it. Those are the ones to look out for.
Well, that's why I went up to Edale for that, up in the Peak District, and knowing that campsite's pretty high up, it's on high ground, it's in a bit of a valley that it's kind of its own microclimate really, and if anywhere's going to get snow when Britain gets cold, Edale's going to get snow, and I was very lucky, and that was the beginning of December last year, so it.
Was it?
Yeah. It's
time
almost
is upon us.
Yeah, it's almost a year ago. It was quite early in the winter season, really. So it's it's only about 3-4 weeks away. Well, about 3 weeks away that it'll be the 12 year. Oh God, can't put my teeth in today. 12 months since I was camping in the snow. So who knows what's around the corner? Who knows what's around the corner? And with rubbish. Hosting and speaking that I can't do. Amazingly, we've had not one, but two mediocre 5-star reviews this week. I know. It's so I'm gonna read them out because why would we not? At that, to get 2 in 1 week, it's a double whammy. So Connor Morris, who originally forgot to put his name on it, but then did put his name on it, sent us another message. He sent us a message via the fan mail link that's in all of the show notes. So if anybody wants to send us a message, we can't respond to you on there, but you can send us a message and it comes through. And but we don't get your name, so remember to put your name on.
Put your name on it. Otherwise, we'll just call you Sea Dog.
We'll call you what?
Sea Dog.
Sea Dog.
Connor. I'm giving him a nickname, Sea Dog.
I thought you meant like like on the sea, an ye olde sea dog.
Well, I mean, it could be, but yeah, I was trying to be cooler and down with the kids, Tim.
Oh, sorry. This is why you're more popular than me.
Yo, word up! You word up! That kind of, yo, Sea Dog!
I thought you were fitting then.
Yeah. At least my teeth are in.
All right. So Connor says, I look forward to my Friday mornings at work, listening to you two, making me laugh. Although you are making me miss my weekends camping and you're making me want to spend more and more money on kit each week. Keep up the good work, lads, and happy camping.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And it means an awful lot that you've taken the time to do that. Sea Dog. See, I'm starting it. It, Tim.
All right.
It's going to be a thing. He's going to go into work on Friday. He was like, yeah, just call me Sea Dog.
Don't do that, Connor. Don't do it. Or if you do, can you film it? You might get things thrown at you.
Yeah, I do understand the spending money. I'm in a very fitful sell stuff to get new stuff. Sell stuff to get new stuff. Enter competitions to get new stuff. Doing it all.
Nobody ever wins any of those competitions ever. I've stopped entering them. Nobody wins.
Yeah, well, you say that, but I did win something that I gave to you this last year.
Yes, you did. You gave me my my Jackery. Yes, you did. Yeah. Yes, thank you very much.
And that wasn't anything to do with casual camping. It was you had to write a little sentence about what would you do if you had this. And I wrote a nice little sentence that said I'd
Yeah.
take it on the NC 500 going around Scotland's coast. And yeah, it was like, yeah. Took 3 months. They were over promising it. Oh, I'll send you it next week, send you it next week, to the point that I thought they were just like taking the mick. And then it turned up. I was like, oh, brilliant. So,
That's cool. That is cool. And it is a great piece of kit. And I am doing the North Coast 500 next year, so it will go on that trip. It's
do a little sort of little videography, picturography of this is actual life imitating art, imitating a story that Adrian made up to win something. Not beggy at all. He wasn't begging, please give it to me. I've had no gruel since last Tuesday.
I'm just thinking, I did win something this year. So I won a new winter sleeping mat with the photo from the top of Ben Nevis sending that into Trail Magazine. I have promised that to Michael that we were walking with, but that equally took them weeks and weeks to send it through. But it's in the garage at the moment. It hasn't made it over to Michael yet, but it's in the garage. But yeah. So yeah, people do win competitions, and our competitions. We've done 2 competitions this year, and people have won on both. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you know. No, there's definitely that. I am hoping. So the hacker thing that we talked about last time, where you can make pizza and cook. They're having a little prize draw on the 17th, which is Sunday, I think. Cool. I'd love to have a go on that. Love to have a go on it.
No, it looks a nice piece of kit. Very nice piece of kit. I've got one more 5-star mediocre review. This is Jason Friend. He can't be J-Dog because we've already got a J-Dog. So you're gonna have to think up of another name. But Jason says, "Hi Tim and Ed. I thought I'd send you a 5-star mediocre review. Thank you for the podcast. I love it. I binge listened to every episode, and you've both completely inspired me to get into camping again. I'm spending the winter months building up my kit, ready for next year. Well done, lads."
Well, it's thank you for joining us on this. I really appreciate those kind words, and yeah, I think that's the thing. It's what the winter months are about. If you're not getting out, it is having a look at your kit, getting yourself all ready for next year, and then getting out when you can do.
And there's nothing nicer from our point of view than inspiring people to go out there and spend cash. Hey!
Thought you were going some other direction with that, but yes, I know exactly. It gives us all a little bit of a buzz when we see new kit. Do remember, if you're on our socials, so Instagram, Facebook, and various others, post some of the pictures of new stuff turning up. I love a new kit day. I cannot tell you. When you purchase something and then you track it and they send you the tracking number, but the tracking number's not on. And it might be coming from the other part of the world, but it's like, show. And I can check it every 5 minutes. So is that just me?
It is just you. No, I do. No, I do the same. I've had something turn up today, not camping related, but it was DHL have been sending me messages sort of daily for the last few days to go, and it's now here. And it's now here. It's something from America, but because I bought it on Amazon from Amazon America, it's come with free Amazon posting from America, which is cool. Yes, it has. I was amazed.
Wow.
Free DHL posting all the way from the States. It's it's kind of camping related. It's long-term food storage for prepper stuff. So it's a big thing of 30-year lifespan prepper food that I can just put away and forget about for the nuclear apocalypse that's about to happen.
I like the way that you're keeping it light.
Oh, we'll laugh our way into Armageddon. Oh dear. So this week we're talking about water. talking about the clear stuff. It's been an episode that's kind of been grumbling, or a topic that's been grumbling around for a few months, really, hasn't it? That we've kind of thought we should probably do water at some point. It's so yeah, we've both kind of messed around with different systems and different bits of kit, and I've got a few pieces, you've got a few pieces, but I started out just taking bottled water. It's years and years and years ago. That's all I took, and I took that for 4 years. I would go and buy big 2 litre bottles of water and use that, because even the water on a campsite, I was always a bit nervous about using, and you know, some of the places we go are really quite back to basic stuff. So I just used to take bottled water originally.
Yeah, and I think that's where I kind of started out. And although we've met up with a few of our friends this year and people from the group who listen to the podcast, who are still firmly in that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I've even learned a couple of tips from Richard about, actually, if you get those bottles and freeze them, those can be your ice packs, and you can open them up and drink them as water as they defrost over the course of a weekend or a week, which is really, really brilliant advice. Well done. And yet, you know, it's for me those other things of, just wanting to go, I've got an actual water carton. And I think it also has differed for me in regards to what am I doing for, is it an overnighter? Is it a weekend? Is it a week? And there's various things that I've had to sort of do for some of those things. It's also depending on where you're going. You know, do they have good water? Is it a bit more rough and ready that you're going to have to boil everything, and therefore should you take your own? And it's surprising how much water you get through, especially where you know you've not brought enough, and then you start eking it out, and you just know that you've not brought enough because you know, all of a sudden you need to make a cup of tea. You're like, oh well, I'll just make a little bit less with that, and you just burn through. Not burn through, but you go through it so quickly.
You do. I mean, we're supposed to have like 1.5 to 2 litres, ideally about 2 litres per adult per day, and you know, and that's in your combination of whatever you're eating and drinking fluid wise. But you know, if I'm away for like 2 or 3 nights on a weekend, you know, I might have, when I started all of this, I might have taken a couple of 2 litre bottles. And actually, by that last morning, you're kind of like, I haven't got any water left for a cup of tea now. I've run out on that one morning when you really desperately need a cup of coffee or a cup of tea before you pack everything up. It's nothing worse than not having enough water for it, and you're kind of begging round everybody, going, "Has anyone got any water for tea?" And it's So
I think that's the bit. And then in looking for sort of containers and various other things, even when I've got those, I've always underestimated for some reason. I've gone, 3 litres, that'll be great. And when you're washing your hands, you don't think of the things that, where do you use water sometimes? So washing up uses more than you really ever think, even when you're being a little bit tight with it. And it just means that so I think I've got a little, like beer barrel type, thing that I use. That's a 3 litre one. And even over a weekend, it's just not enough. Not enough. Even when I'm drinking a lot of beer, I'm still like, you still go through water quite a lot for cooking and other things, washing up and the stuff. So and then when I went, so it's also the kit that I've got. Like, so the Winnowell stove, I've got the hot water bit that goes around the pipe on that. That carries 3 litres. And because the fire's going, I offer that out to quite a few people and go, there's hot water there, just help yourself to it. So you go through a load more then. and the container that I had that held 3 litres. I was like, all right, okay, so that goes in there. I got one that was bigger, and it still wasn't enough. I had to go much bigger because you just go through stuff.
You do. I didn't realize that thing held 3 litres. It's
3 litres, yeah. It's really,
that's fat.
really quite nice, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I carried water bottles for camping for ages and ages until a few years ago when I saw the Stanley water butts when they brought those out, and
Mm.
I bought the smaller one, which is 3.7 litres, and actually, I mean, I loved it. It's great, absolutely brilliant piece of kit, insulated. It kept your water really cold during like hot summer camping days. It was brilliant. Really good seal on it. Nothing's getting in there at all. Nice tap on it, and but actually over a weekend that's not enough. I probably have to fill it twice. So I'm you're drinking a heck of a lot more than you realise. And not just drinking, but like you say, it's the washing up, it's the washing your hands, it's all the clean stuff. And if you've gone with somebody else, it's they're doing all of that as well. And if if you're on a basic site and you're boiling water to have a wash with, you rattle through that so quickly. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
easy
just
to
the
underestimate it.
it's the little things like, um, you've only got one cup, and you were drinking beer in it the night before, so you rinse it out.
Yeah,
Just all those little things that just burn through stuff. The other thing, and I suppose, coming from a point of view of single-use plastic and stuff like that, all those bottles that you get from the supermarket are just single-use. And, I know that the guys we've been away with generally use them again and again and again and stuff, but it's just one of those things, one thing that you keep for your lifetime that is robust enough to keep going, that
yeah,
isn't going to break on you, and you keep for 10 years, has certainly got to be better for the planet than however many
totally.
hundreds of individual bottled water things. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
knocking you. Those people that might be listening that go, is he talking about me? No, I'm not talking about anybody. That's just a general kind of thing.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
we're also very conscious of leaving no trace. And is that the surreptitious trace on the planet that actually it's been produced for that and it didn't need to be?
God, you're getting deep there, man. You're getting deep.
I tell you, I was camping last weekend.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. I do feel much better taking the water butt. I have. I mean, we'll get onto what you're using now, but what you did was you bought the larger Stanley water butt, and then when you've replaced it for your latest toy, I've had that one off you, and
Yeah,
and that's 7 litres, I think, isn't it? Is it
it's
7.2
seven
or
and a
something?
half.
Yeah, and it's great. I haven't taken it out in the field yet because I haven't been camping since we did that deal. But 7.5 litres will be more than enough for a weekend camping. Although I won't be surprised even then if there's me and my other half going and we end up using you'll rattle
Yeah,
through it. But
but
it does feel
you just
right
will.
using something that kind of I've taken it from home. I've even got brave enough that actually I don't tend to take it full of water. I tend to fill it up when I get there because I just think, wow, what don't kill me makes me stronger.
Apart from the plague and food
Dysentery.
poisoning.
Most of the water that I have from the boat actually gets boiled and makes a cup of coffee. I do drink some of it straight away, but something else I do have for those if you're going solo camping and you're hiking out somewhere is I've got a couple of water filters.
Mhm.
I really like the Sawyer Minis, but there's different brands out there, but they do like a ridiculous amount of like 100,000 gallons you can pass through this, and you can just
Yeah,
comes with a little 500 ml bag that you fill up from any source and attach it to one end, squeeze it through and drink it from the other, or you can squeeze it through and fill up your bladder, and like your water bladder on your backpack, and it's just a fantastic little piece of kit that weighs absolutely nothing, and takes out 99.9% of all sorts of stuff. There are loads of water filters out there on the market. Some are a bit heavier than others, but it's a really I think it's a really good piece of kit to have if you're going walking and hiking. You can't carry all that water because water is massively heavy, isn't it? It's great for car camping to take a load of water with you, but actually, if you're out hiking somewhere, you really don't want to be carrying more than about 500 mils at any time. And a little water filter just means actually you can stop and just refill that at any point you like and know that it's pretty safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really had those sort of mini filters, but I really do like some of them, and I think some of the kit that you saw at the one of the shows last year was was it the Life Straw?
Yeah, they did. They brought out a new live straw. So a lot of our listeners will have heard of Live Straw, and it's kind of like the diameter of the inside cardboard tube of a toilet roll. But if you imagine it's about 12 inches long, and you dip one end in a muddy puddle, and you can drink from the other end, and by the time the water's got to your mouth, it's gone through so many filters, it's cleaned it all and taken out all the bugs, or 99.9% of all the bugs, and it's safe drinking water. Well, they do a lot of work all over the planet for in places where they can't have access to clean drinking water. Well, at the show in Liverpool that I went to earlier this year, they brought out a new version of that is like a metal straw that you'd get in a drink, like a reusable metal straw that a lot of people use. It's slightly thicker than a normal one, so like an old McDonald's milkshake straw, probably that width, so a bit fatter. And that's their new product. So instead of being this thing that's probably about an inch across, it's now probably about a centimeter across, and it's a great piece of kit. It weighs next to nothing. Absolutely brilliant piece of kit.
Yeah,
very impressed.
Yeah, I think from an emergency point of view, that couldn't be better for taking with you. I think I did have a couple of years ago when the pandemic, 4 years ago when the pandemic happened, I went and bought one of those 100,000 litre jerry can with a filter on it, and I had one of those.
Life Systems, was it Life Systems?
Yes. And I think anybody doing any kind of trekking across continents or something like that should have 2 or 3 of them, because they are awesome bits of kit for a couple of £100, and it might be a little bit more than that. But they were absolutely good, and I think if any world situation meant that actually water gets turned off or whatever, anybody that's got one of those just isn't going to worry about it at all, because going down to the river, I'm going to stream, do that, because what is it, something like 100,000 litres of going through it would just be brilliant.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. That was a great piece of kit. Absolutely brilliant.
I didn't use it. It sat in my shed just in case, and I was like, I'm going to sell that and get some money to buy some more camping gear.
Yay! This is how... Oh, no, we can't sing a song. I wish we could sing songs. So what are you using at the moment? Tell us what you've got, because you've got a very cool kit.
I have. I have the Dometic Go system. Now, if anybody, and I'm a good camper, right? But Dometic, I only came or found it over the last couple of years, and they are a massive company, either in America or Australia or whatever. And they tend to do a lot of car camping kind of stuff and RV kind of things, tables, chairs, awnings, tents, you name it. And they've got some really cool stuff. And the thing that I found was when I was looking at coolers, and then I found that they did some of them, but I went for brand rather than price, which that's what I'm all about. Unfortunately, I know it's not pretty, but I'm very self-aware of myself. Um, and yeah, so I found that they did coolers in a lot of different colours and stuff, but I wanted a Yeti cooler, and I've stuck with the Yeti cooler. I've not been disappointed with the Yeti cooler, but the top end sort of versions that everybody else does, I think are also very similar and capable and whatever else.
Yeah.
And they did just I think it's 11 litre water butt that had a wide neck, so you could get your hand in and scrub it, which you can't do on an awful lot of water transportation things.
Mm.
It looks like a jerry can almost, but then it also comes separately at quite a cost. But a tap that you can use on the top of it, or you can stick it to metal and stuff. And I've seen lots of videos of people overlanding with their utes and four-wheel drive cars and various other things, and just had it on the side. And it's just a great bit of kit, although I damaged the hose on it off the first time I used it, trying to get water out of the damn thing. When I was drying it out,
don't
I
you
bust the
hate
end
it?
off it.
Yeah, don't you hate it when you do that? When you get something new and from your own like clumsiness, you damage it, and it's just like, I hate
I was
myself right now.
swinging it around to get all the droplets of water off, so that that's the thing with like Camelbacks and various other things, and it had this tiny microscopic mesh filter to stop any kind of dirt going in and just catching it all. And I bust the plastic. I hit it on something, and it just shattered into 2 or 3 bits. And I was like, oh. And I asked them if I could replace it, and they would send me a new hose, but it would cost me something like, with postage and whatever, something like 70 quid. No joke. And I was like, no,
Luminac.
I only want that little bit. And they went, yeah, this is the bit that you'd have to buy in order to get it. Like, well,
Oh.
I was a polite Englishman and went, no. When in fact I went, you can think that's where the sun doesn't shine. Thank you, you've been very helpful. Apologies.
Oh God, I hate it when you break stuff and it's just your own like foolishness. It's just
literally,
like,
I'd had it 24 hours.
oh
24
God,
hours.
I would have been fuming. Really, the air would have been blue. It would have been blue.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a lovely piece of kit though, because you've got that tube and stuff on it, and the tap is like separate. You can kind of hide away your water butt and then stick your tap, because it's magnetic. You stick it on, somewhere on your Snow Peak kitchen, and you've just got this is it automatic sensor? Have you got to press a button?
You double tap the top of it and then single tap to turn it off. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and we'll just test. I'll just go back to the bit. So we'll just test whether or not my friend Mark is listening. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. So off the back of me, he'd never seen it before, and he said he needed something for his camper van. It fits ideally just down behind his driver's seat, as it's square. It's not too unobtrusive. But he has one, and at some point, I'm going to see if I can nick the end off his and put it on mine. I'm not Mark. I'm only joking. Or
are you?
Plus, we're off to that camping show next year, Tim. I might just see if they'll sell me one there. No postage whatsoever.
Take your damaged one, and we'll oh no, we're just having a really good look at an inspection of how it's working. Oh, brilliant. Quick, Ed, swap it over quick.
Swap it over.
Get it down your trouser leg.
I always go shopping with my watering butts.
I just meant the tube, not the whole water butt.
All right.
Don't ever be a spy, Ed.
I'm not. I'm not used to your tricky ways.
We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. We're very honest. Oh my God. We're very honest. We're very honest. Oh
I
dear.
have to say that I think everybody does that a little bit. We met up with some of our casual camping friends this year, and one person who will not be named hasn't bought an airbed for about 3 years, and when they go down, they send it back and get a new one. And just kind of do the switcheroo. So if anybody has ever had an airbed that has already gone down on them the first time, I suspect I might know who it is.
Oh God! Just don't have an airbed. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's just horrible pieces of kit. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
That's the thing with airbeds, though. Everybody goes, "Oh," and they bounce on it and go, "Oh, this is quite nice and comfy." It's like, it's an airbed. They're only heat sealed seams. Don't bounce on it.
Yeah.
Lie down gently and sleep on it. That's it. Whereas, my partner, she was like, "Oh, this is comfy." I was like, "Yeah, can you just lie down? Stop." What are you doing standing on it?
It's not a trampoline.
But yeah.
Oh, we sound like old men now. I'm like, old man, stop jumping around. Stop having all that fun.
Stop having that there good time.
Yeah. Oh dear. The only other thing for water that I've got, which I have to say I've never used, and again, it kind of lives in the long-term prepping stuff, but I do always keep some in my camping box, is some water purification tablets. Which I know they make it taste awful, and and you got to be careful. There's different concentrations. Some will do 1 litre, some will do 2 litres. They are by far the lightest thing that you can carry if you need to make water safe when you're out hiking and stuff. Or doing some of that wild camping. So the option is there, but I suppose a lot of people's wild camping favourite option is just to fill a pan from a stream and boil it. And then it's safe. If you boil it and make sure, it's not like putting it in a kettle and the kettle switches off as soon as it's got to boiling temperature. You got to boil it for a little bit just to make sure everything's killed off and it's fine. So you can just boil the water, but I do have some of those tablets as well, but I've never needed to use them. It's never got to that point. There's always been other bits of kit before I get there, but it's kind of last line of defense. There's always half a dozen stuck in a camping box when I go.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is the thing with a lot of water bottles and insulated mugs that you take your teas and coffees in. Always really bugs me about how they've all got really useless little ridges that you can't bloody get into and clean. So, and I know that they're there to give, rigidity to surfaces and stuff, but, it's like the old style flasks that you used to get that always used to taste bloody horrible.
Yeah.
But there's always like little nooks and crannies that you can't get to, that you can't just, and therefore, I mean, how many thermal cups do you have that you've just got? You those ones that flip up a little straw and stuff, and after time they taste bloody horrible.
Yeah, and I've got a Stanley coffee cup that I use as my travel one. And it bugs the hell out of me that there's a bit to it you can't dismantle and clean, and part of the mechanism. And it's like a single hand trigger thing on it, so you can drink from it one handed while you're driving and stuff. And you can take the lid off, and you can take the middle bit out of the lid, but then there's still 2 pieces that are stuck together with a spring mechanism in it, and a bit that you can never get into. And I can't ever clean that, and it bugs the hell out of me that you can't clean it properly.
Why don't you take your other hand off the wheel then and try and clean? All I could think of is like, Tim, you're reckless. You can drink it one-handed, and I can't clean that bit. I hope you're not trying to clean it while you're driving. He's not allowed to drive at the minute, listeners. So, we are all much safer, certainly around the West Midlands area.
Not for that reason.
No, not for that reason. For his other health reasons.
Health reasons.
For roads. Yeah.
So can I just say it's not for drinking either. It's for a health reason. I've learned that if you tell people you're not driving, they give you a funny look. They just assume it's alcohol related.
Yeah.
No. Oh dear.
Yeah. So that, and I was going to get on to those. I really am very careful about those insulated mugs that I choose now, because I look to. Can you dismantle it? Can you clean it all? Will it last the test of time, or within 3 months will it be tasting horrible? And you'll be like, oh, I'm just going to take the lid off. I've got a Primus thing, which you can get into all those areas, but unless you're scrubbing them every single time, just a rinse won't do it.
Yeah.
And there's lots of little ridges and cross bits that just have bits in, and it just makes me go, I don't want to drink out of that. So I've got a Primus mug that I take with me whenever I go somewhere, but I always take the lid off and drink it like that.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier. And I think with whatever your water storage bit is, the main bit is do not pack it away unless you're 100% that it's like really dry. Then you won't get those horrible tastes. If you've not stored it particularly well, you'll have to Milton it or disinfect it or whatever. If you've got hoses, pipes, things like that, really, like I did, swing it around a little bit and break the end off. But I was pretty sure that was dry inside then.
Yeah.
If you need to get like little bottle washers or those straw filters so that you can clean everything, and if you are investing in those things, put them away well. They'll last you forever. You won't be replacing them until you find that next new thing that you think that is going to do better than this. I'm going to have it, and then you can sell your brother the old one.
And he'll always have it. He'll always have it.
He'll always have it. Tim is double the size of yours. But
size
in
matters.
In water and other things, I suppose. But when I bought that, and it was because they do the two sizes, the 3.5 and the 7.5 litres. Considering they are double the amount, they're not double the size, are they? It's really that's really, and I liked the smaller version. I thought, oh well, and I think you and I went away for a weekend, and you went through your water really, really quickly. And then I thought, yeah, actually, if I am putting water into the kettle that's on the stove, and that's 3 litre, I'm going to go through so much water, and I did.
Yeah. It is amazing that it's not double the size, because I put it on a little oak 4-legged stand thing just to clamp in, make it look nice, make it look pretty. It actually
looks swish.
It did look pretty, but it served a purpose, because you've got to have it standing on something to get a cup underneath the tap where the tap is, or you put it on a box and kind of have it hanging over the edge. But it was cool on the stand. I've managed to get the bigger one on the same stand. It's so it's like it's not much bigger, but it's just it's like the TARDIS inside. It just takes double the volume. I've absolutely gifted my smaller one to our sister up in Scotland. Don't you actually choking
like
there?
What? He was giving something away.
I know. She pled the poor tale and was going camping and was complaining about having to buy bottles of water and wanted to get a water thing, and was looking at them, but they were all really cheap, and then one thing led to another, and before I knew it, I put it in a box and sent it to Scotland. But wow. Keeping it in the family.
Well,
But
that's. I feel bad that. Well, I didn't charge you. You did give me money for it.
yeah, you didn't want any money,
Yeah.
but I did pay you for it. It's yeah. No, it's fine. I was going to buy that large one because the small one was too small. So I was going to buy it anyway.
Mm.
So I just bought yours because you look after your kit, so there's nothing wrong with it. And
Yeah, I think I'd only used it. And the funny thing is, when I bought it, within the week, I found the Dometic thing and wanted the Dometic thing more. Within the week,
that's you
I
see, you've got
I
to
cheat on
stop
my
looking.
camping stuff.
You've got to stop
Tim,
looking.
Tim, I do a casual camping podcast. I've got to look. It's rules. The rules, baby.
It is the rules. It is the rules. It is a good part of doing a camping podcast because it's every excuse that you have to look at loads of really nice camping kit.
Yeah, I've not even told you. So my lovely wood burning stove
Hmm.
sold it on eBay, so I could get almost the identical wood burning stove. Makes no sense. I know it makes no sense when I say it out loud,
Oh,
but it makes every sense to me.
has it
So
got windows in it?
it's got bloody windows.
There you go. There you go. I knew this was an inevitability that was going to happen the second I turned up with my stove that had windows in it. And immediately since then, I mean, to be honest, it's taken you, what, a year and a half, 18 months
Two
to,
years, 2 years.
yeah.
I've had it 2 years, so
Well, I've
yeah.
had mine 18 months. So it's
All
taken
right, good.
from that point when I bought mine, you've been after one with windows in. So you've done quite well actually to drag it out another 18 months. So but you
I
have
have.
finally scratched that itch.
Well, I've sold one.
Sold one,
Um,
still
I
looking at the other.
at some point I will. So yeah, it got its farewell send off. Let's shove all the wood on last weekend. Then cleaned it up and packed it away and sent it off to somebody else. So
Cool,
they
cool.
they got a very good bargain because it was the entire kit, and I've got to start again. But yeah,
That'll be fun though. That'll be fun for next year to start
it
building that
it
up again.
will. Some new videos for everybody to look forward to.
Yeah.
Look,
New
this is
kit days.
that crazy man that just sells things and then replaces it with the same thing, and it costs him more money, and he never makes it back. I'm sick of doing that, but I have fun doing it. I have fun doing it.
You do, you do. You have a cracking time doing it. It's I suppose we better go do some minute mindfulness, really, haven't we? And we'll
Aye.
we'll talk to our listeners again in a second. Enjoy this, everybody.
Welcome to the Casual Camping 1 Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of the outdoors take you back to the camping field.
Fantastic. I hope that means somebody who's listening has decided tomorrow or even later today you're going camping because you want to hear that for real out in the wild. It's that's what that's all about. Or you might just be at work and actually you've just taken a minute to think, yeah, camping's my thing. I'm all right. I'm okay. I can get back to work
Yeah.
now.
I can get back to work. I'm not going to kill that person that I thought I was going to kill a moment ago.
Oh God.
We take no responsibility. You all know this. I didn't mean it in that way. I just meant it can calm you down and you can go, oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah. If you're stressed out at work, go camping. Go camping and chill out. That's what it's all about. Just chill out camping somewhere, and all that stress just disappears. But yeah.
Well,
so, are you?
I've been Aid.
Oh, okay. He's been Ed.
Oh,
I was going to ask you: are you camping this weekend?
Classic Aid. Classic Aid, some would say. Oh, it's classic Aid, is that?
I'm new Ed.
Ooh, you're not just new, you're shiny.
Choice of a new generation. Oh God. I'm not camping this weekend. Are you camping this weekend?
I'm not. I'm recovering off last week. I went at it hard, so yeah, it's been a tough old week.
Our listeners wouldn't accept anything less than that, Ed. You are drinking hard, camping hard, recovering hard.
There was a bit of crying, I think, in my recovery this week. It was like, why did I?
Oh no, yeah. Cool. All right then, everybody. Well, he's Classic Ed, and I'm Original Tim, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.